Okay, here we go. Review for the Khan Academy test that is on Wednesday. So, the snowstorm. Find this area. It's 2 wide, 1 tall, and take half of that, so that's 1. This one is 10 wide, 1 tall, so that's 10. This one and this one we separate out. So this is 1/2, and this is 1/2. And then this one is half of 4, which is 2. So 1, 3, 4, 14 inches of snow. That's a lot. Okay? What should you be here in this one? ln of x should be you. On this one, what would have the greatest area? Left Riemann sum or right Riemann sum? It's going down. It's a graph that's going down. See how the y values are going down. So a right Riemann sum would be there. A left Riemann sum would be there. So left would be higher. So least to greatest, right would be on the top. Then this would be in the middle. Then this would be in the bottom. It's least to greatest. So right would be the least in this situation. Left would be the greatest. Okay, how do we do this one? Well, if u equals the ln of x, what's du? 1 over x dx. So it's the integral of u squared du, which is 1/3 u cubed plus c. Right, Breezy? And so u cubed is ln of x. So it's 1/3 ln of x cubed plus c, which is this one. Okay, a summation. What is that summation? Well, you put it in for m, not for k, in for m, because m is the letter here. So it's 8k plus 6, and then 8k plus 12, or 8k minus 6, 8k minus 12, 8k minus 18, 8k minus 24. This one, the integral of y to the 10th. Y to the 11th with a 1 over 11 in front, plus c. No, plus c is right there. So here's a graph. What's the calculus-based justification that it's decreasing? What has, because it's negative. Depends on how the question asks it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Evaluating this integral, 3 to the x is really 3 the integral from 1 to negative 1 of e to the x. What's the integral of e to the x? So it's 3e to the x. So it's 3e to the negative 1 minus 3e to the 1, which is 3 over e minus, well, I guess it's this one. It's b. Thanks, Bella. All right.
Oh, wait, no.
All right, this is an arctangent one. So it's 1 over x squared plus 10x plus blank plus 41 minus blank. What goes in the blank? What's half of 10? 5. 5 squared is? So it's 1 over x plus 5 squared plus 16, which is 1 over x plus 5 squared plus 4 squared. So it's x plus 5 over 4 with a 1 over 4 in front. Why would it be 1 over 20 in front? I don't know why that would be. So, all right. This one, what do you do with the x? Plug her in. So it's 3x squared plus 4x, and then you put a 2 in for each of the x's. So it's 3 times 2 squared plus 4 times 2, which is 12 plus 8, which is 20, right?
Minus 1. Incorrect.
What?
Oh, you just plug into, that's it. You don't have to find the integral.
No. No.
Okay.
Because you're finding the first derivative at 2. Okay. All right. Integrate this one. Negative 14. The integral of sine of x dx, which is negative 14 times what's the integral of sine? Cosine. And is it negative cosine? Yep. So it's the negative of a negative, so it's a positive 14 cosine of x plus c.
Is that the original or is that the integrated? That they give you?
They
That's the
they
original.
tell this is the original, and you're supposed to integrate that to get
Okay,
this.
So if that was a positive cosine, or positive sine with a cosine,
Be negative.
is it negative still? Or this is
Because integrating, when you integrate sine, it's negative cosine. When you integrate cosine,
so cosine
it's
is
sine.
positive, but then it ends up
Yep.
negative.
Okay, integrate this. What's the integral of 4e to the x? 4e to the x. What's the integral of 5 over x? 5 ln of x. So it's this one. This bad boy right here. What would you do on this one? I know what I would do. I wouldn't. I would distribute right off the bat. Way to go, Liv. It's 18x minus 3x to the 4th. So if you integrate that, it's to the 3rd. So it'd be 9x squared minus x to the 4th with a 3/4 in front of it plus c. You'd try to do u substitution. I don't. U substitution would be really hard on that one. I don't know how you do it. Okay, this one.
Hey,
Whoa.
that seems like a pretty good guess.
Well, you're just guessing right off the bat. All right.
I'm actually pretty positive too. Yeah.
It doesn't say left or right here. So the ln of x, I think, is something that looks like that, and we're going from 1 to e. So the height of it would be the ln of x, and the width of it, so the ln of, which of the, this one I don't know. I would have to swag it or do something with this one.
Can you at least tell us what it is?
I have no idea what it is.
It's A.
No, isn't it B?
I think it's B. I'm on one of those questions.
E minus 1 makes sense.
Yeah, shouldn't it be B?
E minus 1, because we're going from e to 1
It's either B or C.
over the number of,
Can you check it somehow? It's B.
because what we have to do is, it depends on the number of these we have, and it goes from e to 1, so you take e minus 1 divided by the number of those, and e minus 1 times the number of those, 1 plus that, or is it I? So if we start at 1, that 1, it's either B or C.
I have this in my notes.
It is B?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Hold on. ln1
Plus,
I e minus 1 over n.
yep. And then the width of each of them is e minus 1 over n. The height is wherever you go for that. And since it's decreasing, you want to go 1 plus that. So I'll go with that. All right. This one's an easy one.
Negative
X to the 3rd, so you need a negative 3. And then
9 over 2.
x squared, so you need a 9 over 2. and then 2x, and then plus c. All right, here's a Riemann sum. It looks like it's a midpoint sum, doesn't it? So there's 4 equal subdivisions of one of them. And so to find the height of this, you have to go in the middle. So the height is at 3 here, at 1 here, at 1 here, -3, -1. Okay, so if you stick in a -3 into here, what's -3 minus 1? -4. -4 squared is 16. So this height is 16 when you stick in a -3. This height is a 4. This height is a 0. And this height is a 4 when you stick them in. So which one would it be? Well, if you try this first one, if you put in a 0, you get -4 squared, which is right, and 2 wide. That works for this first one. If you put in a 1, you get 2 minus 4, which is 2 minus 4, which is -2. -2 squared is 4, and the width is 2, so that works. So A would work for our numbers. Let's check B. If we put in a 0, we get -5 squared. That does not work. If we put in C, you put in a 0 and you get 4 squared, which is 16, but it's too wide, so that wouldn't work. Okay, and this one, you'd have the wrong number, so it must be A, because it's too wide, 16 tall.
You were plugging 0, 4, and 16?
0, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3 for I. And I should get 2 wide by 16 tall each time. Well, 2 wide by 16 tall in the first one, 2 wide by 4 tall, 2 wide by 0 tall, 2 wide by 4 tall, and 2 wide by how tall? Okay, do you see it? No, you don't.
I don't know.
Okay, if we plug in, because we got to plug in these numbers for the summation. So we got to plug in 0 first, and we get 4 squared. 4 squared is 16. Our height is 16, our width was 2. Then if we plug in a 1, what?
Even though it says times 2, don't do that.
No, because this is the height, this is the width. And in the end, I guess we could multiply them, because that's what the area is.
Right.
So, but that's the one that gives us the right answer. This one, what type of solving do I have to do? U substitution, right, Trey?
Yep.
What's U?
2x plus 1.
No. U is x squared plus x. Du is 2x plus 1
How?
du.
Why would it be that?
Because this is what's on top here. This is part of the du. Okay? Okay? So what we got going on here is we have the integral from 0 to 1 of u du. Because if this is this, and that basically cancels, and e to the u du, I should have had. Okay? What's the integral of e to the u? E to the u. So it's e to the 2x squared plus x from 0 to 1. So it's e to the second minus e to the 0. What's e to the 0? 1. So it's e squared minus 1. This one. If your graph is above the x-axis is positive, below is negative. So if we go from 0 to 4 and 4 to 6, we're just looking at this area. What is the answer? How about -1? 5 plus -6. Okay. X to the -4th.
What?
Go back.
Yeah, where? Because there's not a point at 4.
No, there's not. But basically going from 0 to 4 and 4 to 6 means you're going from 0 to 6. So the whole area from 0 to 6. And then you work with the numbers. X to the -4th becomes x to the, with a -1/3 in front. Plus C. this. So it's the square root of 15 minus 3x. If you're taking the first derivative, that's the fundamental theorem of calculus there. Stick the 3x in for the t.
That's how you do it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you have to solve it the rest of the way.
Isn't there a 1 right there or something? Or what's on the bottom?
That's a negative 5.
You don't have to do anything with that?
I don't think so. Not when it's the fundamental theorem of calculus and you're plugging in. I don't think you have to do any solving because it's asking for the first derivative at that
Yeah,
point.
you would put the square root of 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You just plug the 3x in. Okay. For h, well, from negative 3 to 0 is negative 1. 4 times that is negative 4. Okay. What's the antiderivatives here? This one. That one would go to y cubed, right? And then these would just cross. Okay. This one, area under the curve. A g of negative 1. So if we go negative 1, negative 3 to negative 1, it's that area. So it's 4 plus 1, which is 5. This one's a long division one. 2x plus 3. 2x cubed plus 7x squared plus 2x plus 9. So it's x squared. And it's 2x cubed plus 3x squared. Change the signs and then add 4x squared plus 2x plus 2x. 4x squared plus 6x. Change the signs and then add negative 4x plus 9. So negative 2 to get negative 4x minus 6. Change the signs and add 15. So this is 1/3 x cubed, which all of them have. This is x squared. So you can get rid of those two. This is minus 2x, which both of them have. And then this is 15. So it would be A. The integral from 1 to 4 of that is this just a normal integral? No, this is the first. Yeah, you just plug in, because if you take the first derivative of this, you get 8x minus 5. And then if you integrate it, then you're back to 4x squared minus 5x. So you're just putting in the 1 and the 4. So it's 64 minus 5, which is 59. Nope. Actually, minus 4 minus 5, which is negative 1. So it should be 60.
You're not doing the integrate, that gradient, which is.
Well, because this is the first derivative. So if you take the first derivative, that's what f of x is. So the first derivative of this goes in there. If you integrate it, you're back to the start again. Bella knows. All right. So from the integral from negative 2 to 0 of 3x squared minus 2x plus the integral of 6x from 0 to 2. So if you integrate this, this is x cubed minus x squared from negative 2 to 0. So it's 0 minus negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. plus, if you integrate this one, this is 3x squared. If you put in a 2, you get 12. You put in a 0, you get 0. 12 plus 12 is 24. We're almost done. Couple left. The integral of this is 10x from 8 to negative 6. So it's 80 minus the negative 60, which is 140. From 2 to 5, from 2 to 5, this is 2, because it's 4 by 1. This one is 1, and this one is 4, so it's negative 7, because it's below the graph. Last one. The approximate of the area using a right Riemann sum. So right here, we're at 2 to the negative 1 plus 2 to the 0 plus 2 to the 1 plus 2 to the second. That's where we're at when we plug it into that. And then the width is 1, so it's 1/2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4, which is 7.5, which is 15 halves. Because the width is 1 and the height is what I just put down. So that's the basics of the test. You may.